أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. We're starting with التدريبات, the exercises, right? And the first تدريب we have التدريب الأول, the first exercise. It says اقرأ. اقرأ means read. So obviously when we read them, we also need to understand what we're reading, right? So it says في البيت مدخل. في البيت مدخل. We have seen this kind of sentence before, right? في البيت is in the house. مدخل. مدخل is what? An entrance, right? So we have entrance, right? في البيت مدخل. Um, This kind of sentence is a little bit interesting, right? There are a few things you should know about this kind of sentence. Basically, when you're describing a place, usually you'll be using this type of sentence. What type? Where you start with the place, like you have preposition and then the place. For example, you say fil bayti, in the house, then you describe what's in the house. Okay, here you're saying fil bayti madkhalun, and here you say fil madkhali, in the entrance, right? What? Asha'u, many things, right? Things. Okay, so these are a little bit special type of sentence. Okay, because why? Few things to note. When you say fil bayti madkhalun, okay, you say fil bayti madkhalun, which one is your subject and which one is your predicate? So here fil bayti is your predicate, and the madkhal is subject. Okay, it's almost as saying madkhalun fil bayti. Why? Because your main topic is madkhal. You're talking about the madkhal. Okay, now you're describing the madkhal. You're saying what is about the madkhal, what is about the entrance. Okay, so this type of sentence in English, it's called fronted predicate, where the predicate comes before the subject. Okay, usually what happens? Usually you have the subject first and then you have a predicate. Okay, in Arabic, we also have a special term, something that inshallah maybe we'll learn properly in the grammar class, but I'm just trying to explain to you. We use this type of sentence to describe a place. Okay, and there's another reason why we have to use this type of sentence. Why? In Arabic language, we cannot say madkhalun fil bayti. Why? Why can we say that? Because madkhal is indefinite. Okay, we cannot start a sentence with indefinite noun. For example, you want to say, there is a pen on the desk. There's a pen on the desk. It's a very simple statement. You need to be able to say that, right? So which one is your subject? You say the pen is a subject. In English, you can say a pen is on the desk, right? You can say that a pen is on the desk, right? But in Arabic, you cannot say it like that. You cannot say qalamun ala maktab. Okay, you can't say that. Why can't you say it? Because qalam is indefinite. In Arabic language, one of the rule is you cannot start a sentence with indefinite noun. Okay, so this would be incorrect. So what do you do? In this case, you will bring what? You will bring the predicate first. You'll say ala al-maktabi what? Qalamun. Okay, now you're saying you're bringing the predicate first, which is a khabar, right? In Arabic, we call it khabar. And we bring the subject later, mubtada. Mubtada is subject. Basically, predicate, okay, and subject. You understand? So that's pretty much what's happening with all of these sentences. Okay, right? So let's quickly go through them. So I think we've done these two. Fil haqibati kutubun. Fil haqiba is what? Bag. In the bag. Kutubun. Kutub is what? Books. Okay, it's plural. Books. So you're basically saying there are books in the bag. Okay, so books is indefinite. Here you cannot say kutubun fil haqiba. This would be incorrect. But if you were to say the books are in the bag, then the both ways are fine. Okay, so for example, here you can say fil haqibati al-kutubu. Here, obviously, you have to remove the tanween, meaning you're saying in the back are the books. Somebody asking you, where are the books? You can say, fil haqibati al-kutub. But here you can also start with al-kutubu. You can say, al-kutubu, al-kutubu fil haqibati. This one is fine. Why? Because it is definite. We have alif lam. You understand? So few things to note, right? Number one, these are the sentence you have to construct when you're talking about indefinite noun. Okay. Second thing, we use this type of sentence when we are describing a place. Okay. Another one is fil hadiqati shajaratun. Okay. We're saying in the garden there are trees. Okay. So again, the shajara is your subject. And we have ala al-yamini hujratun. On the right, there is a room. Okay. Then we have ala al-yasari madbakhun. On the left is the kitchen. All right. So inshallah, I'm pretty sure you know all of these things. Something that just to keep in mind. These type of sentence are important. Okay. You have to understand how to use them and how to translate them. Okay. جيد. So next tadrib, التدريب الثاني, the second exercise, we have akmil. Here it's saying akmil, to complete. Okay. So they give you some see, again, we're describing place. Okay, so these are nice exercise. They give you the things and you have to find where these thing belongs. Okay, so let's do a few of them. So it says kutubun kathiratun. Okay, remember what we said about adjective. This is an adjective phrase. Kutubun kathiratun. Okay, uh, this one is indefinite. Okay, this one is indefinite. This one has a dhamma, this one has a dhamma. But here's, remember what we said last time. Why do we have tamarbuta here? Because kutub is what? Is a plural of non-human beings. Basically, it is a plural of an object. Inshallah, when we talk about plural a lot more in details, a lot of these rules will come back again. Okay, so right now you just have to know that because it's a plural of objects, we use in Arabic language, they use the plural of non-human objects as a feminine word. So this whole word becomes a feminine word. That's why you have to use a feminine adjective to describe it. Inshallah, these things will get much clearer as we move on. But something that I'm keep on mentioning, so inshallah it will be helpful. Jayyid. So where do we find lots of books? Fil bayti, fil sunduqi, fil maktabati. Probably that's the word, fil maktaba, in the library. Okay, so you can say fil maktaba. Okay, fil maktabati. Okay. Okay, so the next one is tabashir. I think we had this word long time ago, right? In the first chapter or the second chapter. Tabashir is chalks, right? The writing chalks on the blackboard. So I think we had something like that. Fi sunduqi tabashir, right? So you can say fi sunduq. Okay, fi sunduq, fi sunduqi tabashir, right? There's another one here. We have sayyaratun, which is a plural for sayyara, cars. You can use fi shari', right? In the street, there are cars. Now, okay, looks like we have a lot more here. Let's do a few more. Okay, so it says wisadatun wa battaniyatun. What is wisada? It is pillow. I hope you remember these words. Pillow and battaniya is blanket, right? Blanket. Okay, so where do we find a pillow and a blanket? Of course, ala sariri. Okay, on the bed. See? Ala sariri. Okay, on the bed. Then we have kurasatun wa kitabun. Kurasa is a notebook and kitab is book. Where do we find them? Uh, I don't see a good. I mean, I don't know. It doesn't matter. It doesn't have to. I mean, you can say there is a notebook and book on the sarir. You can reuse the same place, right? You can say ala sariri kurasatun wa kitabun. That's fine, right? And then we have tabakun wa mil'akatun. Tabak is dish and mil'aka is spoon. So this one probably you will be using what? Ala al-ma'idati. Okay, you can say ala al-ma'idati. Okay, why ma'ida? Because ma'ida is a dining table, right? And ala shajarati usfur. Okay, so you can say usfur ala shajara, right? On the tree is a bird or sparrow. And the last one we have thawbun. Thawbun, you can say, remember shamma'a. Shamma'a is what? Shamma'a is a rack, where you hang your clothes, right? So you can say ala shamma'ati thawbun. Okay, on the rack is a thawb. It means, you understand, the long clothes that a man wears, right? Thawb. Now, okay, so the next tadrib al-thalith, we have iqra again. Uh, Again, try to read them and see if you understand these meanings. Qalbun, qalb is heart, okay, and kalb is dog, okay. So you have heart, qalbun, heart, sikkin, tabak is dish, bakr, qira'atun is reading, kibrit is matches, maqad. A lot of these are old words. I'm pretty sure you know what they mean. I'm trying to see if they want us to do something else. Uh, I think we have seen all of them. Nukud is money, samak is fish. Okay. Dawrak. Remember dawrak? Dawrak is a jug or jar, right? It can also mean like flask, something like that. We had this word before. Uh, it's not mawaqif, it's mawqif. Mawqif is it can mean many things. It can mean a location. In a context, it can also mean a parking space. Kub, we had the kub is a glass or cup. Okay. Shaqf is your ceiling. Dik is rooster. Qif it means to stop. This is a command. Qif. And you can see these two words has similarities, right? You see that? Mawqif and qif. So both of them has to do with stop. Here it means the place where you stop. And here it is a command verb asking you to stop, right? Yamsiku is what? He is holding. This is a present tense verb. And it is he. Okay, he is holding, or holding, catching something like that, right? Qarib means close. Jayid. Okay, so now we have a tadrib rabi. This one is a little bit interesting. So it says hati muthanna. Okay, muthanna. Remember, I mentioned in Arabic numbers are divided into three groups. Okay, numbers can be divided into three groups: singular, okay, then we have a dual, and then we have a plural. What we said, singular is of course just one object, dual is exactly two, and plural is three or more. Okay, singular in Arabic we call mufrad, and the dual we call muthanna. Muthanna. Let me see if I can. Muthanna. And the plural is jam'un. Okay, we've seen some of the plurals, right? Here, they're showing you dual form, okay? Basically, when you have a two of any object or a person, in Arabic language, it is not a plural, it is dual, okay? It's called muthanna. And making a dual form in Arabic language is quite easy, okay? So for example, you have rajulun, okay? And in order to say there are two men, you say rajulani. Okay, rajulani. So what do? Simply you add alif and nun. Okay, ani, that ani sound. Rajulun, rajulani. Okay, for example, you have fustan, you say fustanani. You all are all you're doing is adding alif and nun. Fustanun, you say fustanani, fustanani. See, you're adding this alif and nun here. Here, you're adding this alif and nun. All right. So any word you have, any word we learn, any nouns that we learn, you can simply add alif and nun and make it into dual form. Kitabun. Okay. How do we say two books? Kitabani. Kitabani. You see what am I doing? I'm just adding this alif and nun. And what happens with the tanwin? You just remove the tanwin and put fatha. Okay. So, and the next one we have tabibun, which is a doctor, and you say tabibani. Okay. So again, alif and nun. You're saying two doctors. Okay. You have a one maqad, one seat, and you want to say two seats. What do? Maq'adani. Okay. There's only one thing you're doing is adding alif and nun. Make sense? And then you have a baytun, you say baytani. All right. Quite simple, isn't it? Right here now they're giving you some example with the feminine word. Okay, word that ends with ta marbuta. For example, jaddatun. Jaddatun means what? Grandmother. Now you want to say two grandmothers, you say jaddatani. Jaddatani. Okay, so what are you doing? You're simply, again, you're just adding alif and nun. But remember, ta marbuta, only difference from the previous one is that what? You have to change this ta marbuta to your normal ta. For example, you say instead of ta marbuta, you just make it into a normal ta. Okay, ta maftuha. Yes. Okay, because why? Because ta marbuta only comes at the end of the word. It cannot be in the middle. And when you add alif and nun, the ta marbuta is no longer at the end. Okay, it becomes in the middle of the word. It becomes your normal ta. Here, same thing. Again, you're just adding alif and nun, and your ta marbuta is becoming your normal ta. Okay. Next one is ibnatun, which is a girl or daughter. You have ibnatani. Ibnatani. Okay. It is extremely simple to make any word into dual. Okay, inshallah, I think you understand this. You get it. It's not difficult. Any word you have, you simply add alif and nun, and ani sound. Nun has to be kasra all the time. Okay, you make it into dual form. Right now, the next exercise is at-tadrib al-khamis. It says akmil. Okay, so looks like we have our ordinal numbers, right? Remember, you say first, second, third, fourth, right? These kind of numbers. And one of them we've seen in the exercise, right? It was this one, at-tabaqu thani. Remember? At-tabaqu thani. What was at-tabaqu thani means? The tabaq meant what? The tabaq means floor, right? And we said a-thani meant second, okay? Second. So it says the second floor. Now they will be showing you how to say the rest of these numbers. How do you say first, second, third, fourth, and so on and so forth, right? So the first one is awwal. Okay, you say awwal. Awwal means first. Okay, at-tabaqul awwal, the first floor. Okay, then we have at-tabaqul thani, the second floor. Then we have at-tabaqul thalith. Thalith is what? Third. Okay, so this is the third floor. And then we have at-tabaqul rabi', is the fourth. Okay, okay, so now they want you to figure out and do the rest of them. So the question is, how would you know how to say the rest of these numbers? Okay, they only give you from first to fourth. So how do you say fifth, sixth, seventh, eighth? If you look closely, you'll see there's some pattern. Okay, so what's the pattern? So let us write down the numbers. How do you say one? You say wahid, right? Wahid. Okay, and how do you say first? You say awwal. Okay, so there's a little bit difference between these two. One means wahid, and awwal is first. And then second is what? How do you say two in Arabic? Ithnan. Ithnani, right? And how do you say second? Athani. Okay, ithnan, athani. So there's a little bit similarities here, right? So let's see if we can figure something out. So how do you say three in Arabic? You say thalatha, thalatha. Okay, and how do you say third? Thalith. Thalatha is three, and you say thalith is third. Ithnan is two, and thani is second. Okay, so how do you say four? Arba'a. Okay, arba'a. Arba'a is four, and how do you say fourth? Rabi'. Okay, so that looks like there's some kind of pattern. So you say thalith, rabi', thani. So how do you say five in Arabic? Khamsa, khamsa. And what do you think the fifth would be? We have to have this kind of pattern. Khamis. Okay, you say rabi', thalith, thani. So it will be khamis. And of course here you have alif lam, so you can say al-khamis. So now you can say at-tabaqu, at-tabaqul khamis, at-tabaqul khamis, fifth floor. So how do you say six? You say sitta. Now here's a little bit difference also, because there's another word for sitta. Okay, so here you have to say as-sadis, as-sadis. Okay, as-sadis, but the pattern is there, right? Rabi', khamis, sadis, right? Sadis is a sixth. So here is the fifth, sixth, right? How do you say seven? Sab'a, sab'a, and you say as-sabi', as-sabi', which is seventh. How do you say eight? Thamania, thamania, right? And eight, thamin. Okay, so it's a-thamin. We still have the same pattern. How do you say nine? Tis'a, okay? And the ninth, tasi', okay? At-tasi', okay? And how do you say 10? Ashara. And how do you say 10th? Ashir. Okay, Ashir. Now, looks like there's another one left. So how do you say 11? 11 is a compound word, so you say ahada ashara. Okay, that is 11. And how do you say 11th? You say hadi. It's a little bit different. Hadi ashara. So here, of course, you will be adding alif lam. Hadi ashara. Yes. So let's read them. So you have al-awwal is the first, al-thani second, al-thalith third, al-rabi' fourth, al-khamis fifth, al-sadis sixth, al-sabi' seventh, al-thamin eighth, al-tasi' is the ninth, and al-ashir is 10th, and hadi ashara is 11th. Okay. So I think you probably noticed that we have been using these type of numbers in what? In our exercise. See, what does it say? At-tadribul khamis. What is at-tadribul khamis means? Khamis is fifth. Okay, it's the same number that we've been using. Khamis, right? Here we're saying at-tabaqu, which is the floor. We're saying the fifth floor. Here we're saying the fifth lesson. Ad-dars is lesson. Okay, so from now on, inshallah, I want you guys to pay attention to this exercise numbering, so that will help you with what? With these order numbers, right? Ordinal numbers, right? So it's clear so far. Now, okay, so I think it would be better that you repeat this number few times, maybe more than few times, so that the sound sets in you, okay, because all of them has similar sound. All right, and you also can see there's a lot of similarities between the number. Okay, the number is 8 is ثمانية, and 8 is ثامن. The 7 is سبعة, and 7th is سابع. Okay, so inshallah you can go through them and read them a few times. جيد.